just finished mowing and I put it on the lowest setting so I could get lots of grass clippings everywhere. I want to use it to mulch this here and more of that there and that there. So I'm going to rake up all the grass everywhere and show you what I do with it. And the reason I want to do this is because I thought about getting like irrigation lines and running them because I saw lots of videos of different people doing it. And then I thought, well, my garden is really big and it changes constantly where I place things, so I'd have to constantly move them around. And then the fact that it gets winter here, I never thought about that, and I'd have to have lines everywhere, and I'd end up forgetting where they are and mowing over them or having to bury them. It would just be a mess, I think. I don't think it would work. About like I said, just hooking them right up to this rain barrel and turning it on and just irrigating everything at once. I'd have to have a lot, and part of the times I really wouldn't need it because it rains a lot here. And then it still wouldn't, because it takes like over an hour or so to water all this sometimes. And it still doesn't take care of the splashback on the soil, so I still need to mulch. And I did the whole back to Eden thing, and I mulched with lots of wood chips and stuff, and it made the soil really fertile. And it brought in lots of earthworms and stuff. But it also brought in lots and lots and lots of slugs, and I couldn't do anything about it because if I did anything that would get rid of the slugs, it would get rid of all the earthworms and everything. So it really sucked. So I'm doing grass clippings this time, and it's working out really, really well. It is in the middle of the day and it's really hot, and things are not looking that bad, even though it hasn't rained in a few. I think things are looking really good. A little pile I gathered up there. You can see all the marigolds coming up and the peppers. But it's a really good free mulch. You just have to make sure there's no chemicals in your lawn. But it's really good free mulch, and it's really, really helping my plants seem to grow really well this year. Except I can't use the wood chips because it rains so much too. It causes slugs. Really bad. But you need to have a mulch to keep the ground covered, just to help keep the ground moisture even and the temperature more even and stuff, because it's the temperature swings and the moisture swings here in the summer. It's really hard on the plants. I think the grass really does a good job keeping the weeds down. I'm just going to keep piling it on there. See, the corn is coming up really nicely. I know that those stupid stumps look terrible. For some reason why I'm growing the corn around them to hide them. But also, I can't decide if I want to try to grow them back from the stump or not. They're Nanking cherries and I absolutely love them. But they've got an infestation, and the only way I could get rid of it was to just cut everything out and get rid of it quickly before it spread to everything else. But I really, really like them, so I'm debating on, because they're trying to come back from the roots, so I don't know. We'll see. I might just dig them out this fall. I might try to bring them back. I don't know. Like I said, I really love them. But that's my mulch is really doing good. And I wanted to do an experiment just to see if this way of planting versus this way, space-wise, if I would get as many good ears out of each space-wise. 30 plants right here in these 3 rows, and 30 plants in here. And it's about the same amount of space used up for the corn. So I'm interested to see which one works better and if I'll get different comparable yield, because this way is definitely easier to plant, like interplanting with beans and squash and things like that compared to this way. So we'll see. I think that's most surprising, the way they've really bounced back. I've had to cut back a lot. They've had a lot of frost damage. They had some type of fungus disease. You see here or something. But they've pulled out of it. So that's one reason why I really wanted to grow them. I know they make such tiny miniature fruits, if they ever will. I've had a lot of flowers, but not a lot of fruit. But their genetics are very hardy. Since they're all tomato, they're more susceptible to some things, but they seem to really try to pull through, and that's what I wanted. I want to mulch this bed here, definitely, of all these greens. But I'm kind of disappointed because I tried to grow all this lettuce and I cannot remember what kind it is. I have the seed packet inside so I can look it up. It's just terrible though. Oh, and it's like an aftertaste that it hits you. It's so bitter. I've never in my life had a bitter lettuce like this. It's ridiculous. So, it has to go. And it's a shame because I had been growing quite a lot of it. Mulch all of this, I guess. I want to leave some spaces empty to put some new stuff in here. I just messed up the soil a little bit with my fingers. I'm just gonna sprinkle all this stuff in there. Sprinkle it in there. I can thin it all out later. And I don't think I'm going to even cover them up as much as I'm just gonna kind of go like this. I'm kind of messing around a bit, and then when I water or when it rains, it can kind of do its thing. Here, I have a bunch of mixed greens. I'm just going to sprinkle all over it. I'm going to do the same thing all through here. Sprinkle them everywhere. And since I'm not going to mulch these ones yet, maybe that'll help sprout. It's also in the shade, which is nice. I'll keep it a little bit cooler. Although I think I am going to go ahead and mulch around those. So you can see all the, it's like little bits of wood chips and mulch and stuff from where I raked around, like around my trees and things. But that's okay. That'll just make it break down into something really nice. And yeah, I was kind of worried about like weed seeds and things like that from my yard getting into my garden beds, but without it, there's weeds everywhere that I constantly have to take care of, so there's a lot less this way. So it's actually not a problem at all. It seems to be fine. A handful of it like this, and I'm just putting it down and kind of moving it around, keeping it away from the very stem part of the plant because I don't want it to get too hot and compost and rot up around the stem. So it's just a little layer that will form a nice mat that will break down slowly over time and release nutrients and keep the weeds suppressed. Just got a little fresh spot right there where it was getting kind of bare, and I'm just going to keep doing it around there and around those tomatoes and everything as well as the season goes along each time I mow. Mulch around these peppers and cucumbers and that watermelon here. I'm just going to set some here. That'll help keep these cucumbers nice and healthy, and it'll also keep splashback from microorganisms in the soil when it rains and when I water from splashing up on the leaves and causing disease. It won't have to be something that happens, and maybe this will help keep it from happening. It would be nice. Looking really good this year. I really hope to get cucumbers. Last year they got diseased really quick and I didn't get anything off of any of them. I had like one deformed cucumber and that was it. Right there's a dandelion. I don't really want that in there, but like I said, there's probably weeds in here, but even though there's weed seeds in here and stuff, it's worth it. And if I keep mulching, they won't grow. And there'll be a lot less of them to deal with, and they blow in here anyway. This is a lot healthier for the soil to keep it covered than open for the weeds to grow anyway and dry out and get overly hot and then dry out and get wet and dry out. So my plants will be a lot happier.